I now give the floor to Mr. Shukri Farah Ahmed, Deputy Strategic Program Leader, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations Headquarters.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Excellencies, distinguished guests, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. FAO is grateful for the opportunity to make this statement. Hunger is on the rise again. The number of undernourished people has increased to nearly 821 million in 2017 from around 804 million in 2016. The latest State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World report confirmed that climate variability and extremes are among the key drivers for this increase. Agriculture is particularly vulnerable to natural hazards and climate change, absorbing about 23% of economic impacts on natural hazard-induced disasters. This rises to 26% when just climate-related disasters are considered. In addition, we are also seeing an alarming surge in outbreaks of transboundary animal and plant pests and diseases that exacerbate damage by overlaying and or occurring alongside shocks arising from natural hazards, conflict and or displacement. Proactive disaster prevention, reduction and preparedness measures are not only key to sustainable development, but can significantly reduce the cost of post-emergency responses. However, too little investment goes into disaster risk reduction. A recent FAO analysis indicated that between 2004 and 2016, about 92% of the total agricultural-related official assistance for disaster risk management, including humanitarian, in developing and in transition countries was spent on emergency response. Only 2% was dedicated to prevention. In the last 4 years, substantive efforts have been made to assist countries in making progress in the Sendai Framework Monitor in meeting Sendai Target E by 2020. However, more should be done to transform the other key Sendai commitments into action, particularly to enhance local-level DRR delivery with a view to leaving no one behind. Efforts to anticipate and reduce risks need to be accelerated and further build capacities of nations, including of local communities, in order to better prepare and absorb shocks or mitigate their impacts. In this regard, sectors and sector-specific engagements in DRR, including agriculture and food security, have a crucial role and responsibility. FAO and partners must and will continue to work hand in hand and multiply joint efforts to provide advice and assistance to developing countries to ensure that agriculture and food systems are risk-informed and productive, are resilient enough to feed present and future generations and provide the basis for safe livelihoods for billions of people dependent on agriculture. Since the last global platform for DRR in Cancun, substantive progress in DRR work in agricultural sectors has been made in many countries and regions. Recent FAO contributions include support given to 22 countries and 3 regional institutions for the formulation of agriculture sector-specific DRR strategies and plans in line with Sendai Framework Target E, including coordination, mechanisms and delivery at local level and enhanced coherence with climate change adaptation and climate-smart approaches. Support to 15 countries in institutionalizing the global Sendai Framework Indicator C2 to monitor, report on damages and losses in agriculture. Conclusion of an inter-regional cost-benefit analysis of farm-level DRR technologies indicating that farm-level DRR good practices perform on average 2.2 times better under hazard conditions than previously used practices. Continued rollout of early warning and early action systems in 15 disaster-prone countries. FAO's early warning and early action system translate warnings into anticipatory action to reduce the impact of specific forecast hazard on agricultural livelihood and food security. Impact analysis indicate that for every $1 invested in early action, returns for beneficiary households range from 2.5 to 7.1 times. To shape the way ahead and particularly deliver at local levels, FAO believes that the agricultural sector provides ample yet largely untapped opportunities to promote the resilience of the most vulnerable. Greater evidence on the returns on investment in resilient practice in agriculture must be further promoted to facilitate decision-making and investment. Substantive technical know-how for the transformation needed is already available. However, too often we remain stuck in project-driven pilot testing. Substantive headway could be made by integrating DRR into development flagship programs of sectoral agencies and by systematically enhancing access to upscaling DRR technologies. Investments in enhanced data analysis and information and early warning system to risk-informed decision-making and early action need to be increased. DRR funding should be allocated more widely among DRR actors, taking note that the best possible outreach will be achieved when national disaster management agencies provide tailor-made DRR interventions in close partnership with sectoral agencies which correspond to the needs of diverse target groups. Agriculture is one of the resilient solutions. Investments in DRR in agriculture, food security and nutrition will contribute to social stability, conflict mitigation, prevention and recovery. Madam, FAO is fully committed to continue supporting countries to implement the global frameworks on DRR and climate change, for achieving the SDGs as part of our efforts to eradicate hunger and poverty, improve food and nutrition security by promoting risk-sensitive, resilient, and sustainable agricultural development. I thank you, Madam.
I thank the